Something strange is happening in the DC world right now. Warner Bros., the studio that owns DC, is reportedly up for sale. Netflix is suddenly posting Black Adam vs. Superman polls. Zack Snyder is dropping new shots of Henry Cavill as Superman and other DCEU major characters. And even the last episode of Peacemaker didn't tease the DCU's future, not a single cameo. No setup, nothing. I know it sounds like just random coincidences, but when you connect the dots, it actually starts looking like Netflix might be planning something way bigger. Recently, reports came out that Warner Bros. Discovery is reviewing strategic alternatives. That's the corporate way of saying, we might sell the studio. They've already rejected Paramount's bid, and right now Netflix seems to be the top contender. Why does that matter? Because if Netflix buys Warner Bros., they'll own every DC film ever made, from Man of Steel to The Batman. That includes Snyder's universe too. Now think about this. Netflix already has a long history with Zack Snyder. Army of the Dead, Rebel Moon, all Netflix originals. So, if Netflix suddenly owns DC films, who's the one director they'd trust to relaunch those dark, mythic stories again? Out of nowhere, Netflix France posted a question, 1 versus 1. Who wins, Black Adam or Superman? And they used Henry Cavill's Superman and The Rock's Black Adam in the same frame. Now, logically speaking, Netflix doesn't post DC content for no reason. They don't even have those movies streaming in every region. So why suddenly tease a matchup that Warner Bros. Teased but never delivered? It feels like a test post, a way to measure fan engagement and see how much buzz the SnyderVerse still holds. And guess what? It blew up. Millions of views, thousands of comments. So Netflix now has the answer. People still want Cavill back. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Just days after that Netflix post, Zack Snyder dropped a new black and white photo of Henry Cavill in the Superman suit, writing, "Henry Cavill is Superman." Now, Zack could have said Henry Cavill was Superman, but he didn't. He said is. That's a statement, not nostalgia. It's like he's reclaiming his Superman before the corporate handover. It's almost as if Snyder's saying, if Netflix takes over DC, my Superman is ready. And remember, Snyder has always worked visually, not politically. This post felt like him silently saying, I still have the footage, I still have the vision, and maybe soon I'll have the platform again. Let's leave emotions aside and talk numbers. Netflix's biggest problem today? Original blockbuster franchises. They have shows, yes, but no consistent cinematic universe. Buying Warner Bros. Gives them DC Studios, Harry Potter, Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong, Matrix, and more. That's instant IP dominance. And if you're Netflix and you own all that, what's your first move? You revive what fans still talk about, the SnyderVerse, not the Birds of Prey or Blue Beetle era. Because emotionally, that's where the loyalty lies. Cavill's Superman, Affleck's Batman, even Deathstroke all still trend years later. That's the franchise value Netflix could cash in on. Look at the timing again. Peacemaker's new season ended quietly, no cameos, no future setup, nothing teasing the DCU's next phase. That's odd for a shared universe that's supposed to be building momentum. It's almost as if Warner's current leadership doesn't want to expand too far ahead, maybe because they're unsure who'll own DC next. If Netflix takes over, Gunn's universe might not even survive long enough to finish Phase 1. And it's not impossible that Gunn himself could move into a creative-only role under new ownership. Okay, so here's my honest take. No, Snyder hasn't secretly announced a comeback. And no, Netflix hasn't confirmed a DC purchase yet. But the signs? They're loud. Snyder's timing, Netflix's posts, WBD's sale rumors, all within the same window. If I connect the dots, logically, Netflix could be testing engagement using nostalgic DC posts. Snyder might be repositioning himself publicly as the guy behind the real Superman. And Warner's silence on Gunn's projects may just mean they're waiting to see who the next owner is. In short, we might be standing right at the edge of a massive shift. And if Netflix actually ends up buying Warner Bros., I genuinely believe Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill could make a comeback not in the main DCU, but in a darker, separate Netflix DC universe. That's what the fans want. That's what the data supports. And honestly, it just feels inevitable. So yeah, maybe this isn't just random Instagram posts. Maybe it's quiet setup for the biggest cinematic comeback of our time. What do you think? Would you watch a Snyder-directed Kingdom Come Superman, or maybe continuation of most awaited Justice League 2 and the other big projects on Netflix? Drop your thoughts below. I'm genuinely curious what side of this you're on. Because whether you love or hate the SnyderVerse, one thing's clear. The story of Henry Cavill's Superman might not be over just yet.